everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio on this? I hope we do. Thank you. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the 23rd of May, which is a Monday. So happy Monday, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Did we thoroughly enjoy all the chop this morning? Not everything had chop, but the indices sure did. It was all just a little difficult. And Anthony says he's not so happy. If you look at 30-minute candle charts of these indices, TF kind of got with the program in the last, half hour or so. But the rest of these are just chopping around. It's really difficult. And what's the one thing that several people have pointed out this morning? Why do you suppose that might be? Have you noticed it almost never chops around in a lot of volume? There's a reason Daryl just keeps going on and on and on about volume. And there's a reason we have this expected volume indicator. Now, on my camera charts, I don't have expected volume on every chart. If you have multiple charts on a particular market that you watch, I'm not sure it's a good use of monitor space to be putting that on every single chart that's all the same instrument. But boy, you better have it on one. I typically put it on the C's chart and not the others, but that to me is kind of the master chart. On crude, I put it on the 6 tick right up here in front of my face. I mean, it's on this 12 tick. It never hurts to have it. But if you have monitor space that you're trying to accommodate efficiently, but this volume is really, really, really important. When there's exceeding volume, there's almost always a trade. When the volume, he talks about, there's a particular video where he talks about volume stepping off, and I'll show you what he's talking about here. I've got a bond chart, and this is just classic because volume today has been the key. Look at this. This is ZB on a 4 tick, but look at the volume just going down and down and down. And when it does this, you have to think about what's happening on the bus. When the bus driver doesn't have many passengers on his bus, he's not likely to get too enthusiastic about going anywhere. Sometimes, to me, it's kind of like volume is the amount of gas he's got in the tank. If there's not much gas, you can't expect it to go very far. But when it's really got a full tank, I'm telling you, those buses can sometimes roll, and that makes a very nice trade. Another thing I noticed this morning is this 10-minute. I don't have this 10-minute MVP chart on every thing I have up because I just don't have the monitor space for it. But look at how this bent crude oil tested this red ice over and over. This is serious resistance here. So if you had to pick a direction just from looking at this until it comes through here northbound, which it may this afternoon, because this afternoon, going into the close, what do we know about settlement? The bus drivers tend to head back towards settlement, towards the close. They like settlement. So this morning, I found it very difficult. Crude oil did put up a couple of nice trades, but that's about all I really saw. Gold did, and I think Kate got the. That was a great call, Kate, on the elevator. Very nice. That was good for some ticks too. And there have been some touchbacks, but they sure didn't want to go anywhere because we didn't have a whole lot of volume. So sometimes it helps to go back and review some of the short videos that where you can zero right in on what has happened today. Just take 10 or 15 minutes and review those, because Daryl's not just talking on those to hear himself. He's really trying to make you aware of how to read this stuff. So hopefully this afternoon, these indices will decide to put in some volume. The ES is the one that's just so obvious. It's done absolutely nothing. But what do we know about volume? I think I talked about this on Friday a little bit. To be aware, this week we are likely to have low volume and dissipating volume. And why is that? Because we've got a big U.S. holiday coming. So these big boy traders with the bazillions of bucks that we try to follow their money and capture some ticks here and some ticks there, a lot of them take off this week, and they won't be back until the first of the month. So we're not likely to have a whole lot of super duper trading this week. And in a way, that's a good thing, because it makes us pee more. We get more picky. You have to get more picky about those entries. You have to develop the patience to just sit there and wait it out. If the bus driver's not doing what you want, then don't get on his bus. Wait for better bus. Wait for better ride. Wait for one that's got a big sign on it. You need a big sign that says, this bus is going now. But the ones that are kind of iffy, this isn't a real good wait to be trying those. There will be a few things to look at, though. The U.S. economic numbers are kind of light this week. Even through Thursday, they pick up a little bit. Friday, there's not too much the rest of the whole week. But if you go back through and look at the economic numbers calendars, you're going to find that the only country in the world that has big Memorial Day, that's a big deal for the whole population, is the U.S. Europe doesn't have that. So look at there's a lot of important economic news numbers coming from Europe this week. And so that's where we're likely to see a little better trading, is in the currencies. Some of you that trade that on the Nadex, If you uh, like futures better, uh, the slash the 6E and 6A and 6 this and that and the next thing. Very good lesson for today on those currencies is the Japanese yen. It has been in the same exact chop, only worse, than ES. It's done absolutely nothing. Sometimes that thing can really fly. Typically not during our morning hours, but there are always places to find trades. You just have to know where to look. It's a little bit like going on an Easter egg hunt. If you don't know what the eggs look like and where to look, you're not going to be real successful with it. So check the news numbers, the economic numbers from Europe, because there's quite a few of them this week. And I think some people trade the British pound early in the morning, and some trade the euro, the 6E and the 6B. So those, take a look at those. Anyway, I think that's about all I see this morning. The big lesson for all of us today is to really pay attention to this volume, and that's going to be the story for the rest of the week. So, that's a bus driver. Yeah, I have to make things very simple. That's the only way I can think of them. So, basically, I'm sitting here talking to myself about the bus driver and reminding myself. So anyway, be aware of this. It's very obvious in crude oil. We've had 2 hours of this thing absolutely refusing to break about 48.20. It just does not want to do that. So when it does that for that long, any market that you look at, then that's going to take a significant amount of passengers on the bus to get that thing northbound, and that may not happen today. So I think that's. Oh, and we've got the VIX. I wanted